My first day in Missoula is a travel day. It's the time I get all my supplies at various stores that I wasn't able to take on the plane with me. And I'm going to get into a little bit later and explain why Missoula is very special to me. But the one thing it does have in common with most cities in this country is the traffic. How special as it is, it's still going to take you 15 to 20 minutes to drive 2.5 to 3 miles. And by the time it was all said and done, it was already a little after 5:30, and I was already exhausted from traveling and getting everything set up in my hotel room. So the next couple of days, I'm going to take you on a few hikes, show you around downtown Missoula. Since I'm so exhausted, I'm not going to be venturing out there this evening, so I'm going to kick off my first day in Missoula at my favorite brewery on the planet, drinking my favorite brown ale, Moose Drool. I'm really looking forward to my 8th trip here to Missoula, and I really hope you enjoy what I provide for you to view as well. See you on the trail.
Welcome to Missoula.
A little over 8 hours of travel time. I'm finally in the great city of Missoula, Montana. Got my rental car. My Missoula adventure officially begins. Come along for the ride. My first venture on this trip is exploring Holland Lake Falls, about an hour and 30 minutes north of Missoula. I was in this area a few times in the past, and it is a gem if you love to get on your feet and explore like I do. Montana 83 runs through an area that connects Lolo and Flathead National Forest, along with Swan River State Forest. It seems every half mile there's a park entrance on either side, and all offer access to different areas and a large variety of terrain. Today is finally the day I get to check Holland Lake Falls off my list. I finally made it to the Holland Lake Trailhead. The first thing you'll learn driving out in these parts, don't put all your trust into Google Maps, because I was winding around these gravel roads out here and it actually took me to the wrong area. So I'm here a lot later than I wanted to be. But I am here, I'm ready to go. It's about 3 miles to the waterfall, and I'm gonna take you along with me. Let's go. Starts off very simple, very basic. Just surrounded by trees and other brush. But not too far ahead, I do see the lake, so in no time, it's just gonna get a lot better. And I just carry the basic supplies, little food, water, and of course, just like in my previous videos, anywhere in Alaska, anywhere in Montana, I got my trusted can of bear spray, because you never know. You know, I don't think it's possible to ask for better weather. Mostly sunny skies, barely any wind, temperatures in the mid-70s here early September. Just a perfect day to get out in nature and explore. And as you can see, this trailhead is very well marked. A lot of connections in this area. So I'm just going to follow the up arrow to Holland Falls Trail. And in no time, you come right to Holland Lake. Well, at first, it looks like any Lake USA, but once you look long enough, you'll come across towering hills that you don't see back east. That's what I love about these areas. Trail starts off right away wide, but as you get a little deeper in, it's very narrow. And every now and then you'll come across downed trees. A few minutes further up, trail widens a little bit. Another example of a well-marked trail. Here you come to an intersection. You can go up. I don't know where that leads to, but I'm just going to follow this arrow, and make a right and keep going. How y'all doing today?
Good, thanks.
Great, great, great. If for whatever reason you're concerned about incline that you gain doing this trail, no worries. Throughout the trail here, pretty much you'll go up a little bit, then it narrows out, then it levels out, then you're going to go down again. So there's really no really steep inclines. Unlike Angel Rock Trail, north of Fairbanks, if you saw that video, the inclines were not very far in between and you had to chug it up there. There's another little area that's blocked by a tree. There are a lot worse examples than this of trails being blocked by downed trees or whatever brush. Just keep in mind, do the best you can to stay on the trail, climb over the tree if you can. Only as a last resort, go off the trail. Because I've been in many places throughout the US where a lot of trail extensions were closed off due to people walking on them. And it takes about 10 years for nature to fully recover that area. So please, whatever you do, stay on the trail by all means that you can. Just a quick stop to see the beauty of the lake and the mountain in the background. Coming across some very rocky terrain up here. Just a reminder to pack first aid kit in case you slip and fall. Because you're way out here in the wilderness, be kind of difficult to get some medical help set your way. About an hour in, taking a little rest, get some H2O in me. Look at this beautiful spot here. I tell you, nature works in so many amazing ways. I could sit here for hours staring at this and all your troubles will just go away. You do nothing but reflect on the good things in life. And just a few minutes after that water view break, got some more rocky, unstable footing. Be careful, folks. And another stop. As you go higher and higher, the views get more and more magical. About an hour and a half, a mix of small stone and dirt give way to much larger stones, and the faint sound of a waterfall becomes louder. At this point, you're almost to the waterfall. And these last few feet getting to the waterfall are by far the most difficult part of this trail. All right, I'm going to come across this very rocky area. You think you go up that way? Well, I guess you can. But actually the way is over these boulders here. Climb up a little bit and work your way down there. And follow the trail and see where those people are. Once you get to these boulders, climb up and hang a right. Once you get to that area I just showed you, climb up these rocks to get a better view of the falls. Yep, I'm going to climb up those boulders. There's the waterfall. Don't stop chasing water. Oh, I'll stop singing. This is an amazing sight. Well, I'm going to do the best I can to climb up these boulders here and get the closest view I can. Oh, here we go. I think I have life insurance, huh? Up, up, up. There we go. Up this trail here. Up. It's a little bit more. Oh, there we go. All right, here we go. There we go. Coming up, up, up. Oh, this is it. This is it. Look at that. Towering waterfall. And that cool mist is a relief from this hot sun. This isn't nearly as majestic as, let's say, Niagara Falls, but what made this spot special for me is that it represents the infinite treasures that are waiting to be discovered and enjoyed throughout this great country that is overwhelmingly filled with diverse landscapes. Plus, areas like this, given it's not much known, doesn't draw huge crowds, making for plenty of room to enjoy and not having to worry about waiting in long lines. I spent a good hour here, enjoying the views and the sounds, along with talking with others who have made it here. Then the time came to head on back.
I think going back down is going to be a bit easier. The inclines aren't that rough. Again, when you're approaching 50 years old,
But you are far too old to think that you can win over Draco.
going down at any time is a big, big help. Just keep in mind when you're coming down, though it's sunny and beautiful outside, but the mist from the waterfall keeps everything on the ground pretty slick, so be very careful coming on down.
A lot of people are saddened when it's time to leave where they just visited, and I fully understand, but not me, not one bit, because I know there's just so much out there to explore. I'll soon be somewhere else fulfilling my desire to experience what's unknown to me. Even if somehow I would be able to do this every day for the next 100 years, I wouldn't be able to put a dent into what's available for all of us to see and experience.
Just a few minutes, I'll be at the trailhead. Mission accomplished. Another trail checked off my bucket list. And you know, for whatever reason, at the conclusion of any trail that I do, and again, for whatever reason, the ending of Full Metal Jackets always pops in my mind. Mission accomplished. Well, that's it. That's the conclusion of the Holland Lake Trail. Highly recommend. Beautiful day, great exercise. Now it's time to head on back down to Missoula. I'm in downtown Missoula right now. It's a beautiful day today here in Missoula. This is the true downtown. It's where all the action is. Now you're probably asking, why does this guy love Missoula so much? Why is it his go-to place? Why did he already make 8 trips here so far? Well, I'll tell you what, number one, I'm not into the big cities. I mean, I've been to LA 3 times, Phoenix 3 times. You know, there are those that ask me about places to go in those cities, and I tell them, I don't know. I just go there to land, get in my car, and get the hell out of there and go explore nature. I'm not a big city guy. So how did I end up coming here? We're going back to the early 2000s, 2001, 2002. And a buddy of mine returned from a trip somewhere in central Washington where he had family. So he brought back some beer with him, and he hands me this bottle that says Moose Drool with a moose on the label. He's like, you know, dude, you gotta try it. You gotta try it. I'm like, all right, whatever. Popped the cap, had a taste. I was like, wow, this is really good beer. At that time, me and my then wife, my son's mother, decided to look into taking a trip out to Montana. Now, it wasn't, of course, just because of the beer I just tasted, but back then, Montana had no speed limit, so the idea was to come out here to Montana, rent a Mustang or Camaro, and drive on the interstate doing 120. But back then, it also was a lot more difficult getting out here, sometimes up to 3 connections to get here. Plus, it was awfully expensive, so we ended up going to Washington State, and that's where my love for taking road trips out west was born. We're sitting at an IHOP, I think it was, and we were planning on going to the coast because I've never seen the Pacific Ocean. And the waitress was like, well, so where you guys headed? I told her, she's like, oh, no, that's a tourist area. What you got to do is take the Pacific Coast Scenic Byway. And we did. Well, up until that point, that was the most amazing trip I ever did. Then I took some time off for a bunch of years. Then pretty much in 2018, that's where I revived my travels. And I traveled all over the West. But I've always managed one annual trip here to Missoula and another trip somewhere else. With nothing but spectacular. I just wish I started vlogging a lot earlier. In the summer of 2019, made a big road trip starting in Portland, driving through Idaho, up through Montana, and back to Portland again. So when I was driving through Montana, I stayed in Missoula for a couple of nights, And that's where the first time I ever went to Big Sky Brewing Company. I remember walking in there, I was like, whoa, I waited 17 years to have this beer on tap. And here's the photo right there of me back then, my first ever trip to Big Sky Brewing. And usually, at the end of every day adventure I have out here in Missoula, I finish the night with a few moose drools. And keep in mind, Missoula is home of the University of Montana, so it is a college town. So naturally, they're going to have a lot of great pubs. And also, I have to mention, not just Big Sky, but Montana is the mecca of beer. I haven't had a bad beer in this town from all the microbreweries. I think it's something in the water. I want to say that, but then I'm next door in Idaho. Now, I'm not here to offend any people from Idaho. I've had 4 tries, something about their beer in Idaho that's very, very bitter. I think I'll stick to Montana brews. Tell you one great thing about Missoula. Right now I'm surrounded by concrete buildings, but you only got to drive a few miles to pretty much be out in the wilderness. That's what I love. You don't got to travel very far. Yes, I know a lot of towns in the USA are like that, but Missoula just has that special place in my heart. How friendly these people are out here. I tell you, just tried to cross the street over there a little bit too early. No problem. Smile, let me go. God forbid you do that where I'm from.
You dumb fuck!
And given this is my 8th trip here, I plan on going every year for the rest of my life, hopefully. Believe me, if I could do it tomorrow, I would retire in Missoula. Spring, summer, half of fall, and the colder months spent in Arizona. And Arizona is my 2nd favorite place to visit. So all in all, it's a great town, populated with people that have a spectacular relationship with nature, something I'm trying to do and I could never understand, but I'm trying. Easy access to nature, you don't got to travel far at all. Plus, and of course, Big Sky Brewing Company. No, it's not the #1 reason, but yes, it is part of the reason. I mean, sue me. I just think it's a manly thing to do, to travel great distance to have your favorite beer on tap. Because if you like brown ale, I guarantee you, once you have it, you got to have it on tap. You'll agree with me how good it is. Hey there. Instead of going to the gym this morning, I decided to do the M Trail, located right on where you see the big M on the side of Mount Sentinel. Because up until last night, I thought it was a must-do trail that any Missoulian would recommend when you visit. But I found out last night that's not the case.
The M Trail, you'll get a great view of the city at the top, but I've lived here long enough to tell you the hike sucks.
So I didn't even bother filming it. Plus, I wanted to get some real exercise in. I didn't want to have to worry about any of the technical stuff of vlogging. Because as you can tell right now, I'm not that great at it, and I'm still learning as I go. So anyway, I'm going to take you on a short hike. That way, where we can get a nice view overlooking the great city of Missoula.
By the way, I have done the M Trail a few times in past trips immediately after arriving at the airport. I'll just say this. If you don't have a tight schedule and have plenty of time to spare, give it a try. Only warning I'll give is that it does get steep, so if that's an issue for you, I would not recommend. I've also done the L Trail, which is the other iconic symbol that is part of the Missoula Rolling Hills landscape.
Not the Bluebird Preserve Trail. It's right in town. I'm not out in the wilderness, pretty close to the main roads. Just in the mood for a quick loop trail, just to get a nice view of the city of Missoula. So come along. Actually, see, it doesn't start off too nice looking. But as we get up, the view's going to get a lot better. Well, there is a bit of an incline at first. Just something to think about before you venture out here. You know, just a few minutes up. Ain't too much to look at. A lot of brown brush. But like I was just saying, it'll get better as I go up. Just like that, only 8 minutes up. Alrighty, I'm getting that much closer to the view of Missoula. And just 2 minutes after that. Right now it's about 1 p.m. Not a cloud in the sky. High about 90. Very little wind. But it's definitely a 90 that I'm not used to. Back east when it's 90, it's usually very humid. And there's no humidity here, so it feels like more like 80 if you ask me. That trail widens up. For the next few minutes. And 10 more minutes later, we're getting there. And a sign of a well-marked trail. I'm going to stick to the Bluebird Trail. I'm going this way. As I'm walking away from Missoula, the trail is still wide, but nothing else to look at. I imagine this probably looks a lot nicer in the spring when flowers are blooming. As of right now, it's pretty much dull colors. And about 20 to 30 minutes up, I'm gonna hang a left at the scenic overlook. And the trail narrows back down. I'm gonna get up to that area straight ahead where it's cut through that little hill over there. All right, coming through the opening now. See what we got. Ah, interesting. No sign, but I see path going that way and a path going that way. Well, two things to consider. One, when you're on a trail, I think I'm going to stick to the one with less vegetation on it. Less vegetation means it's traveled on more. And two, since this way is going back in the direction I came, and this is a loop trail, I'm just going to head this way, towards the city of Missoula. And in no time, it opens right back up. Let's see if my little gamble worked. And a few seconds later, 50-50 chance, and I win. The scenic overlook. All right. Okay. This is it. Bluebird Preserve Trail. Let's start behind me, rolling hills, and the great city of Missoula, Montana. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna sit down for a while, enjoy the view. It's actually a lot breezier up here, a little bit of a higher elevation. Some are probably thinking, hey, does this guy ever go on some serious trails, some serious hiking? Well, yes. As a result of that, of my last experience on a real trail, really quick story of what happened. When I was in Idaho a few years ago, decided to take this trailhead right here, just around Ketchum, Sun Valley, Idaho area. Seemed like any other hike. Then it's getting higher and higher up. Now, mind you, the first week of May 2001, so in those higher elevations, there was still snow up there. So, going up there, and the trailhead is about 5,000 feet. Keep that in mind. So about 5 hours up, I'm thinking, man, this loop should have been done by now. It turned out I did take a wrong turn. I didn't realize it at the second. I realized, I was like, wait a minute, when's this loop gonna end? I come to a large snow patch. I was like, all right. So I actually had to climb up the side of the hill there to pass by because that damn snow was up to my thighs. It's like, all right, maybe soon I'll be on my way down. Wasn't the case. About a mile and a half, 2 miles up, there was this enormous snow patch with two enormous trees down blocking the path. I say about 2 hours back, I was walking the same trail and the vegetation was more and more, meaning it was less traveled. Then I realized once I saw those two big trees down, I could not get past that. I was like, you know what? There's a reason why no one was taking this trail. So it was already about 5.5 hours up. It was about 5 p.m. And I realized, I was like, wait a minute. There's just no way I can make it back before sunset. So what I ended up having doing was actually, I had no reception. Had to dial 911, got a hold of dispatch, emergency services. And right away, they text me back, these were my coordinates right here. You can check them out. Turned out I was stuck on a 8,600 foot peak. So where the trailhead was to where I ended up, I climbed about 2,600 feet, which I never thought I would ever do, and I actually did that. So he said, it's gonna take some time, and I realized that the damn battery was at 10%. I'm like, I told him that. He's like, yeah, turn off your cell phone for now, turn it back on in 30 minutes. So in the meantime, I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? So right away, and if you've ever been to Idaho, this same area, down trees everywhere. So I gathered some wood, lit a little fire, and of course, what did I forget? I ran out of water. So the only thing I had on me that was metal was a can of Altoid. Put some snow in there and melting snow that way, drinking the water. About 2 hours later, finally the helicopter came. So imagine that. 5.5 hours up, a 3-minute helicopter ride back down. So as on my way down, they were saying, well, when we get down there, the sheriff deputies are going to want to talk to you. And I'm like thinking, oh God, they're probably going to yell at me and say, this is why we don't need you Yankees out our way, That wasn't the case at all. When we landed at the trailhead, the parking lot full of people, trailers with 4x4 vehicles, medical vehicles. It's a whole team of people just waiting. And some people, they were just so happy to see that I was alive, because a month prior, unfortunately, there was a woman who had a distress call. They never found her. So, and that was a real lesson. Two big lessons. Number one, if you're in that profession, you want everyone back alive. You want to help as many people as you could. Number two, I ain't as slick as I thought I was. There ain't no way in hell I'm ever going to do that again anytime soon. So as of right now, I think I'm going to stick to the simple trails. Oh, one more thing. People always ask that I have to pay for it. No, because none of the areas of the trail where I went were closed. Now, if they were closed, that's a different story. But as of then, no, it's emergency services I was, I guess, entitled to. And a lot of people worked hard to bring me back, and I'm ever so grateful. Blaine County, Idaho. God bless you all. I'm up here about 45 minutes, an hour. It's time to head on back down. I tell you, with all the trails in and around Missoula has to offer, the wonderful nature that you could explore and be in touch with, it's nearly impossible to list you of all the trails that I feel you should. But I tell you, this particular trail, from my understanding, it opened up in the last few years, so I'm happy that I've accomplished this trail on this trip. Well, it's another trail in the books. And just like I said up there in Holland Lake Trail, in my head, the ending of Full Metal Jacket's playing in my head. MICKEYMOUSE, who's the leader of this club that's made for you and me.
MICKEYMOUSE. Hey there, hi there, ho there, you're as welcome as can be. MICKEYMOUSE. Hi, hello. I said wake up! Get your ass up!
Well, this is it. My last full day in the great city of Missoula, Montana. It's getting all my belongings together. I'm going to check out of this hotel, the Broadway Inn, which I stayed at the last 3 nights. Now, the original plan, I wanted a hotel right on the walking district in downtown, but for the price of 3 nights here would be the price of 1 night down there. So, but it all worked out well. I'm not far from downtown anyway. So I don't travel very lightly, as I've told you before, but I always check in 2 bags. First bag is pretty much everything I could take with me on the plane. In the second bag, when I check it in, it's always empty. This is for the local brews that I purchased at my destination, so I could bring back with me. And in this case, I'm bringing back 42 cans of moose drool, because moose drool cannot be sold or distributed pretty much the entire area east of the Mississippi River. Something to do with a lawsuit by Moosehead. And after litigation, it was agreed that Big Sky could keep the label, but you can't sell it in the area I just told you about. So I'm gonna bring back these. Have one a week, it'll last me almost a year. And my trips are mostly spontaneous. But today I do have one destination planned, which I'm gonna take you along with me. And of course, as you could tell, everything's pretty much unscripted. As you can tell, I can't speak to save my life. Alrighty then, so I'm gonna pack up everything, pack up the car, and I'll see you at the next destination.
I remember just 3 days ago waking up thinking, wow, I have so much time ahead of me. And like a snap of a finger, just like that, as I'm driving, this is my last day here in Missoula. Go figure. I'm heading to the SNOWBOWL, which is best for skiing, but offers activities for the summer, and this is the last week it's open for the summer until it reopens in December for skiing. I wasn't planning on going there, but Molly at Big Sky last night suggested I go since I was looking for something new to experience on this trip. It offers miles and miles of trails and to observe nature, so I have to give it a try.
I just arrived at the SNOWBOWL about 30 minutes outside of Missoula. Though it opens up at 10, I'm about 2 hours early for the activities I want to participate in. But thanks to the kind folk inside, told me about some huckleberries not too far up the road here. So I'm gonna go check that out to kill some time. Come along. I head up this road. I'm gonna hang a right where that pole is up there. Tell you, huckleberries in bear country, I'm sure you can figure out what my first thought was. But he was telling me there really shouldn't be any problems right now. It's around 10:30 a.m. He said bears usually come around 4 p.m. to feed, so. But either way, I still have my trusty can of bear spray. Just a few minutes up, you gain some decent elevation, but it's a steady incline going up, but not much of a problem at all. Coming to the fork, and gonna stay right. Now that I made the turn, it's all shaded as of right now. And the forecast, another beautiful day in Missoula today, high in the 90s. But the good thing with that, number one, is dry heat, and the mornings are in the low 50s. So it's really not the same for where I'm from. When it's in the 90s, the middle to the end of the summer, it's a lot of times it's in the 70s in the morning. It gets really nasty, plus all that humidity. This ain't bad at all. Coming up to the next turn, right back into the sunlight. Now I'm being surrounded by pine trees. And for me, there's no better scent. Fresh air mixed with pine. Up and up I go. Looking for those huckleberries. Now I'm coming to where the trail is narrowing. Now, according to the map, seems like I should have been there already, but now I'm wondering if I read the map wrong. There's only one way to find out, because it's not too far up. But up I go. Not that I'm not enjoying myself, but I think I went too far. Because if you look at that, let me pull up that map. According to that map, I thought there would be those 3 runs to the left there. I thought they would be easy to define out here, but I'm not sure if this path, it's a little nestled in the wood line there. Maybe I have to look harder, but not that I'm not enjoying myself, but I'm going to turn around and head back and look a little bit harder. Because he said the middle run right there is where the huckleberries are, so I think I went too far, so I'm going to head on back. All right, I'm coming to what I believe is the run on the far right. I believe this path is up there. Back down I go. Gotta find me some huckleberries. If I, it's not like it's a wasted trip or anything. I love doing this, but it'd be kind of nice to show whatever viewers I have me eating some huckleberries. Now, I don't think so, but if this is the middle run and huckleberries are supposed to be on the side there ain't no way in hell I'm climbing up there. I don't know. I'm going to go further, a little bit further down to see if I'm right or wrong. If anyone viewing this is screaming at the screen right now and saying, yeah, you're an idiot. You can't read a simple map. Yeah, I don't mind. Leave it in the comments section. I don't blame you. I won't delete it. I'll actually give it a big like. Sorry about that. I was unaware that to get to those areas would require such a steep climb. But then again, like I said in my previous uploads, not exactly a tour guide. And all this is pretty much documenting my life experience for sharing my life experiences with the world. I really hope you weren't looking forward to seeing me eat huckleberries. It would have been nice, you know. Eastern dumbass eats wild huckleberries. That would be something cool to add, but unfortunately, not this time. Okay, what I came here for is open finally. I just got my pass. I'm gonna hop on this ski lift to get to the top of the mountain here and do some exploring. Come along. Here we go. All right, going up. Whoa, there we go. Oh man, I feel a little uneasy. It's not that short of a drop. I ain't got no seatbelt on. I got the bag on there. Good thing it's not a windy day. I'd be in real trouble here. Get a shot behind me. That's how far we're going up there. You know, going up here just made me think of something else. All the times I've been out there, I haven't gone fishing yet, but also I've never went skiing a day in my life. And since I'm always in Montana, spring, summer, or fall, maybe I should make a winter trip out of it one year and maybe learn how to ski. I'm on final approach. We'll be landing soon. And every single time I'm on a plane and we're on final approach, that scene in Top Gun is always in my head.
You're well below glide path, 3/4 of a mile, call the ball. For two little cougar, for two little cougar. Give me some power, some more power. Power, 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 damn it. We go.
Oh, what happened up there? I was so scared. I'm holding on too tight. I've lost the edge. Sorry, sir. Nah, just kidding. A 25-minute ride up 2,000 feet. So the base is 5,000 feet and I'm up 7,000 feet. So up 2,000 feet in 25 minutes. So I'm following here. I'm gonna do some exploring. Come along. We're at this little junction over here. All directions, trails, everything's marked. So I'm gonna head onto the map over here and see which ones I'm gonna do. They range from easy to expert required, and you know me, I ain't going to no expert required one. According to the map legend, there are any trails up here that's considered easy, like in lower elevations. The only ones around here, it's labeled as more difficult. So obviously I'm not going to be headed up there where those cell towers are. That's too steep for me. I'm not going to be up here all afternoon, but I'm going to take a stroll, try to get some views, and let's come on along. So I start right here. Looks like a well-defined track here. I'm just going to follow it for a few minutes and see where it's going to take me. See, this is a good example of why you should always stay on the trail. Never venture off your trail. See these tiny little trees right here? If people would keep walking off, they'd never get a chance to grow. So that's why it's very, very important. Always stay on the trail at any cost. I mean, if you really have to for whatever reason, I mean, of course, but I mean, do you have the vegetation? I mean, how long is it going to take for these little trees to get to the size of all those over there? And everybody keeps walking on them, they'll never grow. Just a few hundred feet down, connecting with another track here. Well, it's advertised you'll be able to see 100 miles away, but I think the haze today is going to prevent that. But it's still awesome being up here. A little bit cooler. I smell pine. mixed in with the fresh air. I absolutely love doing this. And coming to a fork. I'm gonna take the direction of the more open space. Maybe I can get some better views of what's down that hill down there. A little steep, but good thing is a bunch of stones there. They'll help me a lot with the traction. You know, the lift operator on the base said once I got on, he's like, yeah, you're the only one that's gone up there. So, I mean, to many of you, this doesn't look like much, but it's awesome to me. I mean, right now, so awesome because I had that complete feeling of seclusion. I'm like the only one out here. I love feeling that way. For times, I mean, generally, I do love being around people also, but every now and then you kind of want to get away from things. And this is just the perfect way of doing it. I want to add to that because as we get older and your kids are aging, they're maturing, you lose contact with more and more people, you lose loved ones. We still have to keep moving forward. It's always very important to have something that keeps you happy because then what's the point? And this, for me, I mean, this is what does it for me. I mean, right now my mind is so clear. My soul feels rejuvenated. It's something that I really have to do every 4 to 6 months. We all need something to look forward to maintain happiness. Just like the point of this channel is not be a travel vlogger. Of course, it's not to be a motivational speaker either. This channel is my travel journal. I just want to show the world my experiences and also show the world that we all have our own ways, but for me, and I believe if you're one of those who have never really went too far, I'm not talking about those like say where I live in PA. Yeah, I've been to upstate New York, I've been to Jersey, Maryland. Nah, man, you gotta jump on a plane and get somewhere far. Go to a different ecosystem. Go explore. And I get it. If you don't want to fly, then take a train. Hell, there are Amtrak stations here in Montana. Not sure about Alaska, but everywhere I've gone to, I've always seen Amtrak. Or if you don't want to do that, take a bus or rent the car, whatever. Point is, there's always ways of getting there. I mean, this is America. If anything, I encourage those to just go somewhere far away. If you have never done that before, I could pretty much tell you, more chance than none, that you're gonna feel the same way I feel. I mean, look at this. I'm way in the middle of Montana. I don't think there's anybody else around me right now. Probably more bear than people around me. Well, that's not a good thought, but you get the point. Been up here for a few hours wandering around. Pretty much the same views what I've already shown you. I'm gonna head back to the lift and head back down. There'll be a lot better views going down. I'll see you at the lift.
Boys and girls from far and near, you're welcome as can be. MICKEYMOUSE.
Well, that concludes my little trip to SNOWBOWL here in Missoula. 25-minute ride up, 25-minute ride down, and a couple hours wandering up there at 7,000 feet. Surely not disappointed with that experience. Actually, I feel great right now. So I'm gonna hop in the car and head back down to Missoula.
My last outing for this trip was at McClay Flat Nature Trail. It's located on the west edge of Missoula, where locals enjoy bird watching and jogging, along with enjoying simple activities along the Bitterfoot River. This trail is part of many along Blue Mountain Road. I've done a few others here in the past. Now it's time to check this one off the list.
You know, I would love to do a lot more, but given time constraints, it's already about 5 p.m. But again, one of the many wonders about Missoula, you're just a hop, skipping away from nature. I mean, just a few minutes ago, I was sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic on Brook Street. Now, just a few minutes later, I'm in Lolo National Forest on a trail on the way to the Bitterfoot. And just like that, in about a minute, you're over here on the side of the river. It's the perfect place just for a day out. People here of all ages. There's even people swimming out in the river over there. I'm gonna head that way downstream and soak in as much of Missoula as I can before I leave tomorrow. Again, when you don't have hiking boots or better than running shoes on, kind of gets to your feet and ankles for a while. So I'm just gonna head on over. I just wish I had more time. And I was saying before, it's just impossible to list. I mean, maybe if you're born and raised in this area, you could, but not me. I'm just happy to get as much of it as I can. This does it for me. Now, if you're from here, you're probably thinking, really? No, come on, you gotta do, well, believe me, this Eastern boy, it gets you right here. So I'm just gonna hang out for a while. I'm gonna check into the Stone Creek Lounge, which is the last hotel I'm staying at, and finish off my trip.
MICKEYMOUSE. We play fair and we work hard.
First, I want to say, if you made it this far and you're watching this, I'm very happy you made it all the way through to the end. I thought it would be a lot more suitable to conclude my 8th adventure to the great city of Missoula at the brewery last night. But again, due to technical difficulties, transferring, losing, corrupt file, whatever the hell it was, I lost the file during transfer process, or I deleted it somehow. Anyway, yes, it's a learning experience as I'm going along. Also, one of the many difficulties in vlogging is speaking. As you can see, I'm not a very good speaker, and I don't know what else much to say is to say thank you very much for following me in this journey. I also want to say I really hope there are people from Missoula watching this, and I really want to express my gratitude and just tell you how lucky you are to live out here. I love this city, and I'm really looking forward to my 9th trip here. I do have another trip coming up this winter. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going, but I'll be taking my son along, and I'm going to give my travel journal another try. So I hope you'll join me then. Again, thank you very much for joining me.
To the city of Missoula on a summer day, the Clark Fork River's gonna cool ya. In Missoula, here for the Grizz or the Lady Grizz. Yeah, you come on down to the city of Missoula. Yeah, where the mountain air will clear your mind. Do you wanna, do you come on down to the city of Missoula? Do you wanna, do you come on down to the city of Missoula this summer?